Let's talk about yourself, self-leadership. How did you pick yourself? Where did you come from?
What is law of attraction? You have to love yourself first.
Yeah.
If you can't love yourself, you can never attract same positive aura. So I tell everybody to read that book. Either you read it or you watch it. It's Secret by Rhonda Byrons. It's quite captivating. I come as a very corporate person when it's necessary, as an activist when it's necessary. I come as a lover of life. Socially, I describe myself as a social butterfly. Yes, I think so. Yeah. Because when you see me, you will imagine that you just begin to ask yourself, this is not the same person. Yeah. But if you see me in my office where I'm working and you look at my face, no, my face turns you up because I'm serious in my business, okay? And when it's time to have fun and just drop my guard, I drop my guard and then come down from my high horse so I can relate with the people at the level, at this level. Because if you don't do that, you'll be alone. You'll be left alone. Yeah. All right. Yeah. One of the biggest challenges we have, rich people have, or the wealthy people have, is loneliness. Yeah. And why? When you can't come down from your high horse, right? Yeah. To relate with the people at the level, you'll be alone.
Engineered in the heart of the pearl, one face, four perspectives. Embracing a hip, urban, and dynamic community. Keeping dibs on the constantly evolving African scene. Fanning the hottest talent in Uganda and beyond. Inspiring beautiful minds across the world. Literally changing the game on television. This is XXL TV Show Season 4. Go big or go home. Otherwise, be inspired.
Coming up on the Heavy Hitter this week is the story of Andrew Sally Sentongo, a man who started as a driver and today is doing big things. A man who is a true definition of hard work pays. Andrew, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Very good, thank you.
You're good?
Yes, good to be here.
How have you been?
I've been fine, quite busy, but very good. It's a good time.
Who is Andrew?
Andrew Sentongo is a social engineer by default. I've always believed in starting and building my own initiatives. I guess that suits the description of an engineer, of an entrepreneur. I also have a background in bioengineering, focusing on commercial bioenergy value chains. Okay. Today I am implementing off-grid PV solar. I'm concentrated on the islands of Lake Victoria. So that is the current phase of my career. Okay,
let me take you back a little bit. You started as a driver straight out of university.
Yes.
What was this experience like, and what really inspired you to, go into driving when you just have a fresh degree from university?
Well, I graduated with a Bachelor of Business, and immediately I felt like formal employment was not my calling. So I sat down and I thought through what I want to do with myself, of course, and I thought of starting a transport service. And I like travel, I like interfacing with people, so I built something around my skills and my hobbies. So I started a transport service. That was in 2006, right after graduation. And yeah, I was, moving up and down, doing airport transfers for some of the prominent hotels in Kampala. I was also designing tour packages and taking holiday makers on safaris or tour tourists on safaris. It was a challenging but fun time. I really enjoyed the 2 years which I did that, and it kind of helped to mold my future direction.
Okay, so how did you get the money to start the business?
It wasn't easy, of course. I had to sit down with family, I had to sit down with friends, I had to sell them my concept, I had to sell them my vision, my dream.
Straight out of campus?
Yes. But I have a unique position in my family. I'm the last boy out of an extended family of 12, but I'm taken very seriously. So people in my family and possibly elsewhere tend to take me seriously and tend to listen to whether it's an initiative or a suggestion. So I was serious about it. I showed commitment, I showed drive, and I was able to sell it across my family and some of my friends. I remember there's a friend called Gilbert who we pulled resources together, and we actually invested in the first van.
So you never wanted to get employment, or you just felt like, I want to get out, create employment, and just go into it, as opposed to seeking employment?
I think everyone has a calling, and I was fortunate enough to identify my calling way earlier. And my calling was entrepreneurship. And it was a voice inside of me that was saying, you are better off starting something. And I had all these ideas running in my mind. So I listened to that voice and I followed it. And I felt like this is what I'm supposed to do. This is my place. And that's how it feels.
What about this rhetoric of people laughing at you? Your friends, you're just fresh out of campus, guys are working for big organization, big corporation, and for you, a driver.
Yeah, well, I never really ran into that, or I never really took that in. I had friends who applied for banks in jobs. They were successful. But I think everybody believed in what they were doing, and everybody respected what the other person was doing. And I was also gifted to have a set of friends who really had a very deep understanding of who I am. So I never really ran into that. But should it come someone's way, I don't think it's something to pay attention to. I think what's more important is to pay attention to the inner voice. Whatever it is that somebody is called to do, they should pay attention to it, listen to it, and follow it.
How did you move from being a driver to becoming an engineer, and and to the life that you have today?
Well, it's a very interesting twist. 2 years into my work, I ran into a Canadian family that made me a good offer. It was a routine client, or they were a routine client. I remember it was a late airport transfer. And I remember I had possibly been working since 4 a.m. that day. I used to have a crazy schedule of 24 hours sometimes. I would sometimes get 1 or 2 hours of sleep in between, and I'm on call again. So I remember it was about 9 in the evening, and I had to go to the airport and pick up this family. So I picked them up, packed their bags in the car, drove them to the hotel, and we started conversation along the way. And they were inspired by the fact that I actually have a business degree and I'm driving, and it was difficult for them.
I mean, you can see my point. I mean, I have the same thing.
It was difficult for them to...
Why would you be having a business degree and you're driving?
It was difficult for them to make the connection, but later on they came to appreciate that this is my own business. And I think the more we engaged, the more they came to appreciate my dedication to service. Yeah. And they got to have a good time in Uganda. I made sure that their trip was well executed in terms of time management, in terms of commitment, and in terms of also them maximizing their stay. So at the end of the 2 weeks they stayed in the country, we created a very good bond, and they made me an offer to go to any university of my choice, anywhere in the world, and pursue a master's degree, if that's what I wanted. And the answer was yes, I want to further my education, and boom, I got a university scholarship to go and study in Europe. So I made an application to go to Wageningen University and Research Center in the Netherlands and the Royal Agricultural College in England. And I did my MSc in agribusiness chains, and I focused on commercial bioenergy.
Wow. So would you say that the offer they gave you was a tip as a good driver to them?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think they identified with certain traits within the person. I think they identified with diligence. I think they identified with the level of service. I think they identified with the drive. And I think they identified with somebody who is passionate and somebody who wants to create value. That's what they identified with. I didn't ask for it. It was actually offered to me.
What was the feeling like when you were first told that you have this as an offer? And they must have said this to you when they're boarding and leaving the country, right?
Not really. It came on early in the trip, I guess. I remember one of the nights, I think, that was a trigger was I remember taking them for late out for dinner around 10, 11. It was a late evening, and one of the questions that was asked to me was, when do you get off? And my response was, I don't get off. I am there when I'm needed. If I'm needed at 3, I'll show up at 3. If I'm needed at 5, I'll show up at 5. And I think that kind of attitude compelled them to really invest in the person, or compelled them to see that this person is worth investing in. So I guess it's more of those attributes that they bought into.
Okay, hold it right there. We're going into a break, and when we come back, Andrew will be sharing with us his story of what happened in Europe and what he's doing today. Welcome back. You are officially tuned to XXL Season 4, and this is the heavy hitter moment with Andrew Sally Sentongo, the engineer himself. Andrew, tell me something. So how was it like in Europe when you finally arrived? Was that your first plane to Europe?
Yes, it was my first time to fly to Europe, and I was nervous, naturally, but I was also excited that I'm going into a new world and I'm going into a new phase of my life. And I remember arriving at the airport. I had no friends, no family, no acquaintances, nobody to welcome me, and I had to move myself to get myself to school. And I started to build my network from scratch in terms of friends, in terms of acquaintances. And I had a good time. I had a very good 2 years. My life in Europe was very, very special. I wanted to be, the academic content was one part of it, but I also wanted to be exposed to another set of, environment and systems. I also wanted to be triggered, and I think I achieved that.
Okay. Time at the university, from driving in Kampala, coming out, getting a chance to go and study. What was the reaction like from your family when you told them that, yo, guys, I have gotten this chance to go to Europe?
My family was very happy, very supportive. They have always been. And yes, there was some elements of being afraid. You're going into a new country, you're going into a new place, you don't know anybody. How are you going to survive? How are you going to cope? But I was not afraid. I've never been afraid. So I was actually a bit nervous, but more of anxious of what lies ahead. And I took one day at a time, I took one step at a time, and I got myself oriented. And yeah, I dived into what took me there.
Okay. Did you, by the way, pass? We might be talking here and you didn't pass.
Yes, I achieved my objectives, and I achieved them very well.
What were your objectives?
My objectives were 2. 1, to fulfill my academic requirements and get my award, my master's degree award. The second one was to get exposed and learn from the West as much as I can in terms of what are they good at, what kind of systems have they built, what's the mindset behind the development we see in the West. And the academic part went very well. I threw everything I had into my studies, and I actually managed to submit the best dissertation in the whole School of Business for the year 2009.
Oh, and you came top in your class?
Yes, I came top of my class, and I was also awarded a cash prize of 10,000 euros from my university to actually implement my thesis, and that was the birth of my renewable energy career.
Wow. I mean, many people go to Europe and never return to Uganda. You can just hear Andrew's story. It's quite a very fascinating story to hear. I mean, why didn't you not stay in Europe? Most Ugandans go to Europe, or most Africans go to Europe and just never return home.
Europe was not my space. I didn't feel that this is the place for me to do what I'm supposed to do in terms of life career, in terms of calling, in terms of purpose. So much as I enjoyed the environment and everything functions very well, but I had a deep void of this is not my space, and I felt that my space is back here at home. This is where I feel I am required. This is where I feel I can add value to something. And of course, the nature of my studies was concentrated on analysis of agribusiness value chains back in Uganda, and I specifically looked at the flour industry, and I focused my research on the problem of petroleum and the problem of lack of power. And from that problem, I was able to develop a concept which later on turned into a commercial concept and was the birth of my company now, of spinning off commercial bioenergy in Uganda. So one thing sort of transitions into another, but I think the lesson in that was whatever you're placed with at the current time, do it very well, be very articulate, and throw all you have in terms of passion, in terms of drive, and in terms of focus. And I guess if that is achieved, success is inevitable.
I was recently in the Kalangala Islands, and I happened to visit one of your projects, and I was quite very impressed. I mean, would you say that your project is turning around lives and adding value to the people in that area?
Yes, I would like to say that, because we are bringing off-grid power to people. These are people who have no dream of connecting to the grid because of the geographical location of the place. So right now we are focused on developing off-grid solar PV power, and we did the first project in 2016. It was a partnership with an Italian company, and we were the local implementing partner. From that project, we realized 600 new grid connections in an island called Kitobo, and this really changed lives. You see, the first time people get power, stable grid supply power, which they can use to run a fridge, which they can use to run a small-scale industry device. It really changes lives, yes, okay, and really adds value.
How do you feel like today?
I feel fulfilled in the sense that I set out to do something of value, and I have brought value to people's lives. So I feel like I'm at a good place.
Well, Andrew, thank you so much for being part of the show, and we're looking forward to, bringing the story of Andrew when he's cooking. And I would advise you to go and check out his project in the islands. Otherwise, this is XXL Season 4, and we have come to the end of the show. My name is Eddie Okela, and see you next week, same time, same place. It's a wrap. God bless Uganda, and God be with you.
Engineered in the heart of the pearl, one face, four perspectives. Embracing a hip, urban, and dynamic community. Keeping dibs on the constantly evolving African scene. Fanning the hottest talent in Uganda and beyond. Inspiring beautiful minds across the world. Literally changing the game on television. This is XXL TV Show Season 4. Go big or go home. Otherwise, be inspired.
Let's talk about yourself, self-leadership. How did you pick yourself? Where did you come from?
What is law of attraction? You have to love yourself first.
Yeah.
If you can't love yourself, you can never attract same positive aura. So I tell everybody to read that book. Either you read it or you watch it. It's Secret by Rhonda Byrons. It's quite captivating. I come as a very corporate person when it's necessary, as an activist when it's necessary. I come as a lover of life, socially. I describe myself as a social butterfly. Yes, I think so, yeah. Because when you see me, you will imagine that, you will just begin to ask yourself, this is not the same person.
Yeah.
But if you see me in my office where I'm working, and you look at my face, no, my face turns you up because I'm serious in my business, okay? And when it's time to have fun and just drop my guard, I drop my guard and then come down from my high horse so I can relate with the people at the level, at this level. Because if you don't do that, you'll be alone. You'll be left alone. Yeah. All right. Yeah. One of the biggest challenges we have, rich people have, or the wealthy people have, is loneliness. Yeah. And why? When you can't come down from your high horse, right? Yeah. To relate with the people at the level, you'll be alone.
Engineered in the heart of the pearl, one face, four perspectives, embracing a hip urban and dynamic community, keeping dibs on the constantly evolving African scene, fanning the hottest talent in Uganda and beyond, inspiring beautiful minds across the world, literally changing the game on television. This is XXL TV Show Season 4. Go big or go home. Otherwise, be inspired.
My name is Ronnie Abasa, and I'm here in the fix to fix 4 things about Uganda. Number 1. Talk like a Ugandan. This is Uganda. What does that really mean? If I'm in the parking lot and you are paid as a security guard to watch over my car, then I'm not going to have to pay you an extra to do your job. Do your job, let me do mine. Number 1. Number 2. Why do Ugandans use the word million in plural? The dig it before million is what makes it plural. So you don't say 2 million. 2 millions, 3 millions, 4 millions. It's million, okay? Million. 3. You have a nice fancy car, Mpenkoni, Mercedes Benz, whatever it is, and you are busy littering, opening your window and throwing garbage, sugarcane pills, maize cobs. Who sent you? Who bewitched you? Where do you come from? All right? And last but not least, these Ugandan proverbs. I hear, I'm expecting some money, I will pay you next week. The Bible says, let your yea be a yea and your nay be a nay. Full stop. These stories of, I'm expecting some money, I'm expecting a call which didn't come through, that needs to change. My name is Ronnie Abasa, and I just fixed you.
Let's talk about yourself, self-leadership. How did you pick yourself? Where did you come from?
What is law of attraction? You have to love yourself first.
Yeah.
If you can't love yourself, you can never attract same positive aura. So I tell everybody to read that book. Either you read it or you watch it. It's Secret by Rhonda Byrons. It's quite captivating. I come as a very corporate person when it's necessary, as an activist when it's necessary. I come as a lover of life. Socially, I describe myself as a social butterfly. Yes, I think so. Yeah. Because when you see me, you will imagine that, you will just begin to ask yourself, this is not the same person. Yeah. But if you see me in my office where I'm working, and you look at my face, no, my face turns you up because I'm serious in my business, okay? And when it's time to have fun and just drop my guard, I drop my guard and then come down from my high horse so I can relate with the people at the level, at this level. Because if you don't do that, you'll be alone. You'll be left alone. Yeah. All right. Yeah. One of the biggest challenges we have, rich people have, or the wealthy people have, is loneliness. Yeah. And why? When you can't come down from your high horse, right? Yeah. To relate with the people at the level, you'll be alone.
Engineered in the heart of the pearl, one face, four perspectives, embracing a hip urban and dynamic community, keeping dibs on the constantly evolving African scene, fanning the hottest talent in Uganda and beyond. Inspiring beautiful minds across the world. Literally changing the game on television. This is XXL TV Show Season 4. Go big or go home. Otherwise, be inspired. Engineered in the heart of the pearl. One face, four perspectives. Embracing a hip, urban, and dynamic community. Keeping dibs on the constantly evolving African scene. Fanning the hottest talent in Uganda and beyond. Inspiring beautiful minds across the world. Literally changing the game on television. This is XXL TV Show Season 4. Go big or go home. Otherwise, be inspired.
Coming up on the show this week, I catch up with my long-term friend, Sylvester Kabombo, a man of great value to the hip-hop industry, the man who is turning around lives of young people and young girls and giving them a positive life and a life to live. And this man has been all over the place, trained so many young people, but also he's transformed his life from being a rapper to almost a philanthropist. Who is Sylvester Kabombo?
Sylvester Kabombo is a rapper from the duo commonly known as Sylvester Abrams. We've been kicking together for a very long time. Arts educator, entrepreneur, and so many other freelance, things that might come in. I am a performing artist, amidst all other stuff I do. I still perform on stage, so wherever there is dime, I try to,
to dip your hand in.
Yeah, because as you know, so you need more avenues of earning.
You have been in the music industry for a while now, and obviously you come out from the crop of artists who are trying to turn things in the industry around to try and give it meaning. What has the journey been like for you so far?
It hasn't been an easy one. Nothing is really easy. Music is like any other business. You have losses, you have gains, you persist. Of course there are successful stories. You wake up one day and you feel alive, then the next day you're like, I wish I didn't start this, So, those moments when power goes off on stage when you're performing, you're like, oh my God. Then the next day you get a gig, you paid a lot of money. So there are success stories and non-success.
Basically there are lows and highs.
Yeah, they're there. It has been a bumpy ride from way back, to now. A lot has changed to support the arts. So many platforms, so many gigs now, so many connections. Then social media, which took over the sector. So many TV stations. So there's so many of everything now. So many artists. Yeah.
Okay. Which you guys didn't have when you were coming up?
Yeah, I mean I might not even take you way back. Just the early 2000s. There were a few stations, a few radio stations. Facebook wasn't there then. MySpace, because I got to know Facebook and MySpace around the mid 2000s. So you can see just close there. if you compare now and just early 2000s, there's a huge difference. Now, so many things are done on phone. Your phone has everything, the email, the what.
Yes. It also has everyone.
Yeah, I rarely visit an internet cafe. So all that has changed. Like, the gadgets have put, almost everything that, in our hands, At times you used to walk a distance, do something, now you do it, within, your place of comfort. So there is so much that has changed, of course, for the good and the bad. So, yeah.
Okay. Music as a business. Can an artist run music as a business?
It is, because there are many who are really getting paid. They have gigs every week, outside Uganda. Concerts sell. What you can say that is not selling right now, or just a few copies, are the physical CDs. Physical CDs, because people know they can get the music for free. Even if you lock it, people who create these websites are the same who create the apps. So, CDs, yes, you can sell a few copies, you can make copies. For record keeping, you cannot keep a flash, So you need something that you can put in a shelf at home that is a CD. So, some artists still make them, but there's not so much money you can really get, from physical copies. But downloads now, it's like anything now, someone can download just one song, two songs, 3 songs. Concerts are still really doing well, even outside Uganda. For someone who buys a physical copy now, in this day and age, just know he really likes to support, and he likes to buy original content from the artist.
I am one of those people who really buy music from the artist.
From the artist. Yes. So anyone who buys a physical copy now in this day and age, just know he loves your music, he loves to support, he likes to buy original stuff.
I come from a background where content is quite key. Do we have content in our music in Uganda?
If you're doing an album, there will be, definitely there will be songs that are life-changing. Apart from just telling people to party, but trying to inspire them to make the best out of their lives. Yeah, so they are there because sometimes we hit by these situations, the life experiences, as I said, or people around us, communities. So that music will always be there. There will always be music that can make you laugh, can make you party, can make you drink more. Music that can make you spend more.
Yes.
And then that music that will make you spend more, but wisely.
Yes.
Put something at home. Buy something for your wife. Make her look good. You can have fun, but at the same time mindful of the responsibilities ahead of you. So there'll always be everything, but it depends what you dig out. Okay. You as a listener, what do you want to listen to?
Long ago, echana mukaka waliwo landiro digo bayitanga seeka yali mukwata mpola nyonga mukubanjeze njuta kukaka. Yes, nali mpankisa uwe waka ngomwezi gugwako nga tukyaseka eyo iwamuze iseka ngate wetu gambula okuba kubanja nze nemnancha twacha chancha kanyama yake tulya kuchencha lwalirumu omukuba pangise yesiuka mpisa olwengeri jeyeisa ya duka ne sente z'obupangisa emyezi 2 teyakwatibwa kisasibwa kisa lwe lwasemba landiro ddi waffe otukwatiwe kisa wowe.
Sylvester, how did you cross from just being a rapper to becoming a serious, clothing line and
It started in 2012, actually. I didn't know the direction. I was just printing T-shirts to push my music further.
Yes.
I had a day job and a few performances as an artist. So I wasn't looking for money, but I was like, instead of complaining about airplay, I think I can do something. So I was like, okay, let me make a few T-shirts and get song titles, print on them, post online, and
promote my music.
Just that.
Yes.
I didn't start with a business idea, and I never knew that it would really get this far. So even the first t-shirts I did were online. You take a picture, you post online, you give it to people. Then some people were like, oh wow, this is nice. How much? You know, some people bought, a few bought, you know. So that really made me reconsider. I was like, okay, maybe if I produce more, produce more t-shirts, maybe it can be a business, because already people are interested, and I was just using Facebook, post the pictures. So that really, ringed, a bell, In my mind, I was like, I need to sit down and see how far I should take this. So I started getting serious, printed more t-shirts, partnered with the first partnership I did was at Equatorial Mall, because I was moving all the time, doing workshops up country. And some people are like, you need to get a point where anytime, any day, people,
come and find it.
Yeah, find your stuff. Because I was on the road, always on the road. So I partnered with a friend of mine at Equatorial Mall, started putting t-shirts there, started advertising on Facebook, shop, this number, you have to go there. People they got used to it, started buying items there. Then from there I went to Kamu, then from Kamu Plaza to Mavidi's complex where I am now. Yeah.
Wow, well, thank you so much for being a part of the show. And thank you too for being a part of the show. This is Double XL, of course, with Sylvester Kabombo. Let's talk about yourself, self-leadership. How did you pick yourself? Where did you come from?
What is law of attraction? You have to love yourself first.
Yeah.
If you can't love yourself, you can never attract same positive aura. So I tell everybody to read that book. Either you read it or you watch it. It's Secret by Rhonda Byrons. It's quite captivating. I come as a very corporate person when it's necessary, as an activist when it's necessary. I come as a lover of life. Socially, I describe myself as a social butterfly. Yes, I think so. Yeah. Because when you see me, you will imagine that you just begin to ask yourself, this is not the same person. Yeah. But if you see me in my office where I'm working and you look at my face, no, my face turns you up because I'm serious in my business, okay? And when it's time to have fun and just drop my guard, I drop my guard and then come down from my high horse so I can relate with the people at this level. Because if you don't do that, you'll be alone. You'll be left alone. Yeah. All right? Yeah. One of the biggest challenges we have, rich people have, or the wealthy people have, is loneliness. Yeah. And why? When you can't come down from your high horse, right? Yeah. To relate with the people at the level, you'll be alone.
Engineered in the heart of the pearl, one face, four perspectives, embracing a hip, urban, and dynamic community, keeping dibs on the constantly evolving African scene, fanning the hottest talent in Uganda and beyond, inspiring beautiful minds across the world, literally changing the game on television. This is XXL TV Show Season 4. Go big or go home. Otherwise, be inspired.
Mando ya Musa, twesala bukumba sibya Medusa. Tolina kalimo falo liluza. Reconnaissance, Beba producer. Got chains on my neck and I'm looking like Kunta. Wanna close, boy I'm a shooter. I'm the boss with a dream like Luther. Namuongo boy, that's the hood I'm coming from and I thought you knew that. Thugs and drug dealers, body mukako na. Why do I rap? I rap because I want to talk about stuff that other people don't talk about. I want to inspire people. I want to be the voice to the voiceless. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs, no. Wafuka so mean. In fact, Osinga I mean. Chirabika oli half man, half machine. Mundu nziraba ku buli street. Buli chimwe chicho cha gunpoint. My nigga, tell us the point. Power to the people, tebichakola kubanga nobulula abaniga babubba, ba good cop, baba kuba masasi, our only hope, ne baba kwata, ba MPs, baba kuba kalimo lufu na kalulu nebebaka. Kati temuji kwata ko. This is Leo Rich, rated fresh on XXL. Ruba. Yeah, Leo Rich. Oh yeah.
This is Uganda. 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 Hey. Wake up, go look for paper. No money, no power, Mutesa. Talk more and get yourself to your gas, so all we do is look for the pesa. Uganda Zabu, rest in peace Zakayo. I'm from the 256, born with the heart of a lion. Don't talk about Alicia Keys, we got Irene and Desire. Y'all think Trump is shit, y'all should come see ours. An MPP's on the wall, pays 40K and free he goes. After 20 years of school, you still won't get a decent job. A rich man shoots, then a poor man gets locked up, but not for long. This is Uganda, brother. Ain't nobody gives a fuck. Uganda, 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 my country. Uganda, 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 my country. Oh dear God, up in heaven, bless my country. Oh dear God in heaven, please bless my country. Oh yeah. This is Uganda. 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 Hey. I fell in love with the Rolex. I ain't talking about watches. You don't need a big bando. Only few coins get a mando. Yeah, ba Kampala. Chino se chivuga chapafala. Smartphone ya kabitu jitwala. Do for the 256. Uganda. Can't touch my flow like a crested train. Dropped out of school, got a different brain. The eyes tell them that my future's faint. You and your stupid as claim. This is Uganda, part of Africa. Do what you wanna. Go to school, read your books, or else smoke marijuana. I don't care what you do as long as unayochofanya. This is Uganda, this is Uganda, light up your fire. This is Uganda. 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 This is Uganda.
Uganda, 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 my country. Uganda, 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 my country. Oh dear God in heaven, please bless my country. Oh dear God in heaven, please bless my country. Oh yeah.
Let's talk about yourself, self-leadership. How did you pick yourself? Where did you come from?
What is law of attraction? You have to love yourself first.
Yeah.
If you can't love yourself, you can never attract same positive aura. So I tell everybody to read that book. Either you read it or you watch it. It's Secret by Rhonda Byrons. It's quite captivating. I come as a very corporate person when it's necessary, as an activist when it's necessary. I come as a lover of life. Socially, I describe myself as a social butterfly. Yes, I think so. Yeah. Because when you see me, you will imagine that, you will just begin to ask yourself, this is not the same person. Yeah. But if you see me in my office where I'm working, and you look at my face, no, my face turns you up because I'm serious in my business, okay? And when it's time to have fun and just drop my guard, I drop my guard and then come down from my high horse so I can relate with the people at the level, at this level. Because if you don't do that, you'll be alone. You'll be left alone. Yeah. All right. Yeah. One of the biggest challenges we have, rich people have, or the wealthy people have, is loneliness. Yeah. And why? When you can't come down from your high horse, right? Yeah. To relate with the people at the level, you'll be alone.